My name is Victoria Miller. I'm associate producer on Until Dawn.
Now, can you give us some background information about Until Dawn?
In Until Dawn, the game takes place when 8 friends go to a mountain lodge to celebrate an anniversary of sorts. And it's an interactive horror game. And of course, since you have 8 friends alone on a mountain, things start to go wrong. So the player takes control of these 8 characters, and they will play as them through the story. And by the end, 8 characters can be alive, or all 8 characters could be dead, or anything in between. So once a character dies, they're dead, and the story continues on.
What are some of the inspiration movies for this game?
So we have a really talented developer, Supermassive Games, and they worked with some Hollywood talent on this game. They're definitely inspired by a lot of the movies that people are familiar with. Saw, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, a lot of the slasher things. So they've incorporated some of those horror tropes, but there's definitely a twist in the game. So things don't play out exactly as you expect.
Now, would you say that this is more in line of celebrating horror movies, or is it kind of like a take on horror movies like A Cabin in the Woods?
It absolutely plays up the tropes of horror, kind of tongue-in-cheek, knows exactly what it is, but at the same time it is a scary game, and the team has spent a lot of time focusing on different tenets of horror. So you have moments where it's quiet tension, you have some of the more blood and gore horror, and of course there's always the twist.
What kind of replayability can players look forward to with Until Dawn?
Because all 8 of your characters can survive or die through the course of the game, there's a huge potential for replayability, particularly if you want to go back through and play and say, how many characters can I actually save in the game, or how many can I not? So there's so many different endings. It's definitely be great to go back through and play again and even see different scenes that you might not have seen the first time through.
When starting the game, we took a little quiz to see what we were afraid of. How much does the quiz impact the gameplay?
So if one of the questions in the quiz is whether you're afraid of needles or if you're afraid of suffocation. So if you had chosen suffocation, the killer actually has a gas mask that he puts over your face to knock you out if your character gets caught. If you chose the needle option, then he's actually going to have a syringe and inject your character. So the choices that you make definitely affect how the player reacts to the game, because it's playing up on what you're indicating are your fears.
What are some of the challenges you face getting scares out of players in this day and age?
Well, one of the things that we've known kind of developing the game is that when you build somebody up to a place of fear, you don't want to constantly keep them at that really heightened state of tension, because eventually they get used to it and it just becomes kind of a flat experience. So we definitely built the game kind of taking that into account and making sure that there's always build up and then quieter moments where the player relaxes. Then you can build up the tension and the fear again.
There are 8 different characters with multiple paths of development. Now, do any of the characters end up helping each other later on?
Yeah, absolutely. Their stories, they're 8 friends, their stories are intertwined. Like any good horror movie, there might be, as you saw in this demo, one of the characters is separated from her friends, but the decisions that she makes when she's on her own will definitely impact the story once she runs into the other characters in the game.
How do you feel using motion controls with the PlayStation 4 controller helps with the gameplay?
Using the motion controls in the gameplay brings a very visceral kind of action into the choices you're making, and so it brings a physicality into that tension and fear as you play through those tense instances where you only have a moment to decide whether you're going to run or you're going to hide.
How has the PlayStation 4 hardware helped in developing this game?
Using the PlayStation 4 hardware has really enabled the team to do a great job bringing the characters to life. Until Dawn was originally for the PS3, and when we decided to make the move to PS4, we kind of redid the game altogether. We brought in a new cast, we rewrote the script, and it enabled us to really bring the characters to life more, make them more realistic, and in a sense, kind of the game has grown up on the PS4.
What is the release date for Until Dawn?
2015.
you.